Hi, Marbs here. Now today, I'd like to ask you a question. What happens when the game ends? Now, for me, with Overwatch, that really has happened most recently with the introduction of Marvel Rivals. I've found myself playing a lot of Marvel Rivals and have pretty much retired from actively playing Overwatch. Now, I recently played some of the new Stadium mode, and it was kind of fun for nostalgia, but it didn't really do a whole lot for me. Now, my Overwatch journey began back, oh Lord, I think in 07 when the game originally came out, I think it was. And I didn't play it at first because I had never really played that kind of a game before. But with a lot of prodding from my daughter, I eventually decided, okay, I'll give it a try. Now, the thing about this is that it's a different kind of game, all right, than what Marbs used to play. And now I would say these team-based objective shooters are something that I'm really into. Now, there's only one problem. I was also really into Overwatch. And as you can see, I've accumulated a lot of merch. So I'd like to point out a few of them to you that might be interesting and talk about them a little bit, and then talk about what's next. Well, first off, I would point out is the Razer Diva headset. Now, the Razer Diva headset is one that is kind of cool. It's a Razer product, and it mimics the Diva communicator. Kind of cool. I also have the long mouse mat for Overwatch. I don't have the keyboard and the mouse. That's just one of those things I never got. Now, I do have the Lego Bastion set. Now, I have quite a few Lego sets and some of the more exotic ones. I do have this. This is interesting. This is the Tracer Taco Bell Overwatch headset from the contest. Taco Bell ran a contest, and if you won, you were able to get yourself a prize. Well, in this case, this is the Tracer headset. Now, it's kind of cool, a little worn, but really, really rare. Another thing that I have is this right here. This is a glass from the Overwatch Pro League inaugural season. It's got the inaugural season shield on it, which I think is really cool. I do have 4 Overwatch pint glasses. I have an Overwatch coloring book around here somewhere. And, you know, I have some of the best Lego sets, including the Junkrat, which I was Junkrat main for a long time, so that was a real big get for me. I never did put it together, always intended to, but being a Junkrat and Diva main, I have both the Diva and the Junkrat Lego sets. And then I have all the, I don't know if I have everyone, but I have a good number of the Hasbro Ultimates characters, and I have a couple of the Pops. Now that the game is over for me, I guess my question is what's next? Well, I don't know. I guess for me, it's probably to sell this. And, you know, this gets into something I always tell people when they ask me how I feel about buying video game merch. And I say, well, you know, the problem with video game merch is it's only valuable and it only has a really good shelf life if the game continues to be popular. Unfortunately, in the case of Overwatch, the game has been on a little bit of decline. I don't see myself going back to Overwatch. If I don't stay with Marvel Rivals, I'll probably pick up something else. But I don't know that I'd ever get this involved in the lore and the characters again. One of the things that I think is very interesting about this game is it was a game where I got really into the characters and the lore and the, story of the game. That's why, I was so excited that we were going to get more of that later on. Although that never did happen, the Stadium to me is an attempt to try to write some of that, but I just don't know that that's going to happen. So I did the pertinent thing. I got out all my Overwatch stuff. I cleaned all my Overwatch stuff. I always tell people, before you take anything in for trade, clean it, please. Because if you bring it in all dusty and ratty, they got to pay somebody to clean it. So guess what, dude? If you do it, you're going to get more for it. The second thing is I've made an inventory of what I have here. And then I've researched, some average pricing so I can get an idea of what I have and what it costs. And then I could start to have a point of negotiation when I trade this in. Am I going to trade it in for trade? Am I going to trade it in for cash? That I don't know. But, the point is I think that moving it along right now is probably the best thing for me because I really don't enjoy it anymore. And it's just not of value to me to have all this stuff on the shelf that I'm really not into anymore. So that is the story of my Overwatch journey. So the next stop for this will probably be Chris at Play It. When I do, I'll post a message if you want to contact Chris for anything you see in the video to make an offer. I will definitely expedite that for you. My name is Marbs. Thank you for watching. Now you slam that subscribe button for me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.